Hi guys, I hope you are doing well. So let's get started. Before I start with the session, I just want you to do a quick activity. So I just want you to Google your name in Google. Like if it's your full name is along with initial, you have to Google your name and let me know what you are getting like in the chat box. Are you getting an accurate result about your project or about your profile or about your Instagram? Or if it's something not at all related to you, you are getting some other one's profile. What are you getting? Do let me know. Okay, that's great. Keep commenting, guys. Okay, you are getting your LinkedIn profile. Okay. So, knowingly or unknowingly, you are already having a personal brand. That's what I want to tell you. So, but the question is, are you the one who is building that brand? Or it is built by someone else? Because see, in our school, in our college, we'll always be having a tag. Someone will be having the tag of doubt solver, someone will be having the tag of topper, someone will always be there in the events, hosting events or attending events, someone will be doing internships. But are we the one who are actually creating the brand around us, or it is created by people around us? So that's the real question. So now let's get on to the definition of personal branding. Personal branding means you're controlling how people are seeing you, how people are actually perceiving you. So you are building your identity uh, about how people should know you. So let me just break down the topic of personal brand. Let's divide the topic into two parts. One is personal side and another one is brand side. First, in the personal side, you have to know who you are. You have to first know your interest. You have to know your values. You have to know what are the things that are driving you to become a creator. And next one is the branding side. Branding is nothing but packaging. So in the personal branding, if your name is Amirthavarshini is the personal side. Amirthavarshini is the person, and the brand is how you're packaging yourself, how you're presenting yourself to the people. So how you are showing yourself to the world, what are your content, what are your profiles, what are your visual identities? This is the brand. So before creating a personal brand, you have to ask yourself four important questions. So the first question is, what do I genuinely enjoy? What are the things do you enjoy doing? It should be something which for which people should not be forcing you. If you are genuinely interested to create content on Instagram, you shouldn't be feeling it as a burden. You should actually enjoy doing it. And second one is, you should actually be good at doing it. What is the purpose of doing something in which you are not good at? Because when you're creating content, you are delivering value to people, and the value will be delivered at the right sense only when you are good at it. So the next one is, what do I want to be known for? If, for example, you want to be known as a dancer, but whatever reels you're posting is related to some other thing, then the what you want to be known for and what you're doing are not matching. So this is the third question you have to ask yourself. And fourth one that you have to ask yourself is, what are your non-negotiable values? These are the guiding principles which will help you in the case of dilemma. So next one is branding side. So you have to be consistent whenever you're posting content on any platform. So firstly, you have to have a perfect profile. You have to have a good voice and tone. And if you're using a voice of the founder in the initial stage, then you have to continue and sustain the voice of the founder. You should not be changing the voice to a student voice. So make sure that you are doing it. So, as I already told, in personal branding, you are going to be the product, and your brand is the packaging. Even if the product is perfect, it is defect free. But if the packaging is tampered, people won't be choosing you, right? So, in personal branding, your branding side is more important than the personal side itself. And why this personal branding becomes more important in today's world is because 5 years ago, 10 years ago, even if someone is having a basic degree, people will appreciate him. Even if he or she is having a first rank or something, people will appreciate him, and they will be treating him as one of the greatest person. But today, everyone is having ranks, everyone is doing internships, everyone is doing certification course. So showing up alone is not enough. You have to show up and you have to make yourself visible. You have to market yourself to the people in order to stay updated in the market. So it's not about the person who is having a lot of wins. It is about the people who is showing a lot of wins to the world, the one who is winning. So talent is invisible without visibility. Even if you have multiple talents, if you are not going to show it to the world, it will become invisible. So that's the perfect thing which this personal branding is trying to bridge. So how to build your personal brand? Before building a brand, you have to know what is your niche. So in order to know your niche, there is a perfect framework called ISV framework. Firstly, you have to know about your interest. What are something which is driving you to do something? Next thing is your skills. Just having an interest is not enough. You have to be genuinely having those kind of skill set to do something. And third one is values. Values are the non-negotiable principles. What are some driving factors that is making you to do or not do something? For example, if I'm going to create content on finance and I also have the perfect knowledge for creating content in finance, and in future someone is giving me a brand collaboration opportunity that is entirely unethical, at that time values are something which is going to drive me whether to accept that brand collaboration or not. So that's why in the initial stage itself you have to define your values. So clarity doesn't come from thinking, it comes from doing. So just thinking that you will become a creator will not be helping. You have to first do some actionable steps. And how to position yourself as a creator. Whenever you're building your personal branding, just building is not enough. You have to position yourself in such a manner. And how can you do that? Firstly, you have to say something different. Don't say the same thing that everyone around you are saying. For example, if you are doing CA, a lot of people might have told you that you have to study 14 hours, you have to study 16 hours every day in order to clear your CA exams. But say something different. If you feel that studying 14 hours is useless and just studying 6 to 8 hours effectively is enough, then say your opinion. Don't just say whatever every person is saying just because the crowd is, don't follow the crowd just because everyone is doing. You can stay out and stand out. So second one is bring a new perspectives. So if you feel something is unique within you, you can share that perspective instead of following the crowd. And third one is share your journey. So what if you are attending a course, for example, if you are going to a Tally training program, it is a 30-day or 2 months training program. What people usually do is they'll attend all those 60 days, they'll collect the certificate and post that certificate on LinkedIn saying, I'm happy to share that I have earned this certification course on Tally. But what you can do is instead of just posting one certificate, you can post your complete journey, maybe like weekly or daily basis. You can share your journey that today I have learned this, today I have learned how to put a journal entry in Tally. People will be relating with your journey rather than just wins. And next, many people will be confused on what content they have to create. First one is these are few content ideas, and this is one of the bonus for you guys. There are a lot of bonus which I have planned throughout this session, so please stay tuned. This is one of the bonus. What content to create? Firstly, you can do a book review. So if you're studying a book, again, what people will do is usually they'll complete the whole book and then share their summary on LinkedIn or some other platform. But what I feel is if you're doing 2 pages today, you can share those insights to the people on the same day or on the weekly basis. If you're covering around 20 pages, you can summarize that 20 pages and explain people, because people are always curious to learn about the journey rather than the end results. Next one is if you're watching any podcast, then you can just share your insights about the podcast. For example, if you're attending this session today, you can share your key takeaways from the session on any platform. Next one is if you're attending any events, for example, ICA, if you're doing CA, ICAI will be conducting a lot of events. If you're studying in school, there will be a lot of events which will be conducted by your school. If you're studying in college, there will be a lot of events conducted by your college, right? So what something or the other we'll learn by attending any session. So you can share that in the platforms. So next one is if you have learned something unique, if you have solved any problem, if you have learned something to do a to solve a problem in an easy manner, then you can share that also. Or if you want to share your journey of how you were in your childhood and how much you have transformed, then you can share that. Or you can teach a topic. If you are very good at a topic, for example, if you're very good at finance, you can teach it in a very simplified manner to a lot of people. Next one is internships. A lot of people might be doing internships, so you can share the lessons or the journey on any platform. So content is not just about expertise. You don't need to be an expert in a particular topic to share your thoughts. You can, even if you're a beginner, you can share it. And what people will learn, like the quality of your content is more important than your expertise on a particular topic. And next thing is, whenever you are creating content, hook is very important. So hook is the first line which you are sharing to the people. In Instagram, the first 0.5 seconds will decide whether people will be uh, watching your content or not. In LinkedIn, the first sentence which you'll write in your post will be making sure whether people will read your content or not. So uh, more important than the content itself is the hook. So firstly, you have to identify what will be your hook, what will be your thumbnail, what will be your caption, and then go on to the entire topic. Because if you are going to create a content where people are not going to watch fully itself, what is the use of it? So a few examples for a hook is a shocking number. You can say that 90% of the people in India are not productive. Like the number part, you can include in the hook. Or next one is a moment in time angle. If everyone today is talking about the LPG shortage, you can also talk about it. And you can share your bold opinion, or you can share your counter thoughts as well. Because controversies actually work well, but you have to be open to the criticism that you will receive after posting a controversial content. Next thing is consistency and experimenting. Firstly, you have to post your content, and then you have to observe the pattern of which kind of content is getting a lot of reactions, which kind of content are engaged by the people. And then you have to experiment with a new form of content. Because, for example, let me take the example of LinkedIn. There are different types of posts. First one is a text-based post. Then text with images. Next one is carousel post, and lastly there is also a video post. Then instead of just posting a text based post, you can experiment with the different types of posts, and whatever is working, take the inputs and refine it and then again post. So this is how a content journey works. Authenticity. As I already told, a lot of people will only be posting their wins. They won't be posting their losses, or they won't be showing the messy in betweens. So what you can do is you can show your messy in betweens as well. If you might have failed one time, be it in competition, be it in life, be it in exam, you can share that, because a lot of people will be relating with the failure more than success. And don't try to be perfect and polished always. Try to be original, try to be you, because that's the that's the thing which is building your credibility. And next thing is, you have to first know who you are talking to. You have to know your audience. Just if you are just going to post a random content, it won't be working, because you are, in case of brand is not built by the person who is building it. Brand is built by the customers. If Microsoft is a brand today, it is built only by the people. So you have to understand your audience. You have to understand what problems they are facing. You have to understand how they are allocating their time in life, and you have to introduce a solution that is actually making their lives easy. Don't post a random content. Don't create content for yourself, create for the person who is actually going to read or who is actually going to engage with the post. So here are few actionable steps from the workshop of personal branding. So first one is know yourself, because before knowing yourself, you cannot build a brand for the people to know you. So second one is finding your niche. Before finding your niche, you cannot create your content. So for finding your niche, you can use the ISV framework, that is interest, skill, and values framework. Next thing is you have to pick one platform. You can pick Instagram, you can pick LinkedIn, you can pick YouTube, but don't pick all the platform at once, because a lot of people will be doing this mistake. They'll be starting the content posting journey on YouTube, Instagram, LinkedIn, every platform, and they'll not be able to manage even a single platform. So don't do that mistake. Then you will learn only by posting. So in the initial stages, don't try to be perfect, don't try to over focus on the perfectionism. Start with the basic content, even if the quality is a little bit down, it's okay, because in the initial stage you are just going to experiment and learn what people in your content are liking, what people are not liking. So experimental stage can be a bit raw as well, and you have to be consistent. Don't be like in 1 month you're posting content all 30 days, in another month you're not at all showing up, in another month you're just posting two content a month. Don't do that, because in the initial stage consistency is very, very important. So if you are going to start your personal branding journey today, you'll always have a head start of 2 to 3 years ahead of the people who are just thinking. So this is it about the personal branding. So do you guys have any doubt regarding the personal branding? You can share your comments in the comment section. If not, we'll be moving forward with the LinkedIn workshop and then take the Q&A at the end of the session. Okay, guys, I'll just start with the LinkedIn workshop and I'll take the Q&A at the end of the session. So now we have learned what is the personal branding all about in a general manner. Now we are going to dive deep into what is LinkedIn and how can you grow your brand on LinkedIn. Just a second. Yeah, so in this session, it is not going to be very theoretical, because I'm going to share my personal experience of what are the things I learned from being on LinkedIn for the past 2 years, what are the mistakes I did, and I'll share everything. So why LinkedIn is particularly building a brand on LinkedIn is more important in today's world is because uh, people on LinkedIn are having a professional mindset. And if you want a job, if you want an internship, if you want to network with people, you are just one click away when you're creating content on LinkedIn. So if you want to be noticed by a CEO of a company, or if you want to be noticed by the founder of any company, it is not possible through Instagram. It is not very much possible in the initial stage through Instagram, but it is very much possible in LinkedIn, because your content is going to speak for you. Your content is your credibility on LinkedIn. So that's why creating content and building a personal brand on LinkedIn is very important in today's world. So different platforms are working on a different psychology. For example, if you take the example of Instagram, it is working on a model where people are scrolling just to entertain. And if you want to be successful in Instagram as a creator, you have to create content around the trends. So if you're not going to create a trending topic, if you're not going to create a reel or post on a trending topic, then you are going to get outdated. But LinkedIn is not working on that purpose. LinkedIn is your content on LinkedIn is tied up with your credibility. You don't need to chase the virality. You just need to chase what actually, whether are you creating value for your customers or not. Because every people who are scrolling through LinkedIn is scrolling with purpose. Then why students or any person, for example, can win early on LinkedIn is, as per a stat, only 5 to 10% of the total population on LinkedIn are actively creating content, which means the remaining gap is around 85 to 90%. 85 to 90 to 95% people on LinkedIn are not creating content. They are consumers, which means if you are going to start today, you're already getting a head start. You're getting the visibility. You're visible to a lot of people. Next thing is, a lot of people are thinking that I will create content only on the topic in which I am having the expertise, but it is wrong. You whatever you feel, you can share you can share your journey, or you can share your insights on specifically LinkedIn, because people are very supportive and encouraging. And the only formula which you need to win on LinkedIn is consistency. You have to be creative, because the content on LinkedIn, mostly the content which works is text based or text with image based content. And if you're going to put an article over there, why will people come to LinkedIn and read an article? They can go to Google and read, right? So you have to have your own perspectives. You have to be a little bit creative. You have to create curiosity among people. You have to be clear with your thoughts, and then you have to be consistent. If you are doing all these, you will definitely win on LinkedIn. So what most of the people think is, LinkedIn, your profile on LinkedIn is just in resume, but it is a very false misconception. It is in one perspective, it is a digital resume, but it is not only resume, because in resume you will not be sharing your journey. You'll not be sharing your stories, but in LinkedIn you can share. You're building your complete brand. So don't make it only restricted to your job title or your positions. How Be as creative as possible. Firstly, communicate who you are, then share what you care about, then why people should remember you. If you are similar to everyone who is creating content on LinkedIn, then there is no uniqueness between you and them, right? You have to highlight something which is specific about you, so that people can actually remember you. So there are 6 sections on LinkedIn, and if you can master all these 6 sections, you're already built a personal brand on LinkedIn. So this is the main thing. Firstly, it is profile picture. So profile picture on LinkedIn is very important, because it gives a perception to the people who are seeing your profile, that it is not being operated by bot, or it is not a AI based profile. So there are a lot of profile which are coming up in LinkedIn now, which are completely operated by bots. So in order to gain that trust, you have to keep a profile picture, and that profile picture should be at least till chest length or till shoulder length. But if you're keeping a picture which is till shoulder length, it will be too zoomed in. So at least try to have a chest length picture. And a lot of people are trying to use AI generated images, but particularly for LinkedIn, do not keep any AI generated profile picture, because it again gives an indication that your profile is being operated by bots. And let me share my personal experience regarding the profile picture. When I started creating content on LinkedIn, I just randomly kept one profile picture that is entirely very unprofessional. The same picture that I have now in my Gmail, I just had that, because it was I just created my profile on LinkedIn using the Gmail. So the profile picture got auto populated, and I was just like, okay, let's keep this itself. And till the 15 till I reached 12 to 15,000 followers, I had the same profile picture, and a lot of people started recognizing me by this picture. But when I actually changed my picture after the 15K, I literally got my reach got literally low, because people identified me through that profile picture. And when I changed my profile picture, my credibility and my positioning itself got a bit triggered, because see, on if you're creating content on Instagram or YouTube, if you're creating content on Instagram or YouTube, people will be identifying you by the face which you're showing on the channel. But in case of LinkedIn, your profile picture is speaking for you. So if you're going to change that, then your complete algorithm will be disturbed. So what I suggest is, if you're going to create content on LinkedIn today, have a profile picture which you'll be using for the next 10 years. Because if you are going to change, your algorithm is going to change, your people will stop recognizing you. So that's one of the point. So second one is your banner. Your banner is your billboard. So it is very important, because the first second thing which people see after the profile picture is the banner which is behind the profile picture. Okay, so this banner should have a few important things. Firstly, it should communicate your value, why you are there on LinkedIn. Secondly, if you're working in any company, you can have the brand of that company in that billboard or in that banner. And next thing is, you should have something unique about you in that banner. So these are few things which you have to definitely include in your banner. So banner is not very important in the initial stage. You can also build a perfect banner and then post later, but make sure that you are having it in an optimized manner. Third thing is headline. If your post is going to come on my feed, then what I am going to see is, firstly, your profile picture, secondly, your name, thirdly, your headline. And headline is very, very important, because I'm going to decide who you are just by the four words which I'm seeing in my feed as your headline. And then only I'll decide whether I have to connect with you or not. So headline is very important. A lot of people are doing the same mistake, and which I feel is because of the auto population which happens through LinkedIn. So when you're creating your content on LinkedIn, it will, if you're going to fill your educational field, as if you are studying in ABC college, then your headline will be auto populated as attended ABC college, like that. So, but it is a very common mistake. Do not have a very simple headline like this. Your headline should have your identity, your direction, what you are on, which you are creating content, and anything that is optional. Like if you are certified by a particular platform, then you can say that I'm a certified coach or something. So these are few templates which you can use for creating a headline on LinkedIn. So first one is, if you are working in a company, you can put your roles and then the topics in which you are interested in. If you are doing CA, you might be interested in finance, you might be interested in accounting, then you can put those topics here. So secondly, documenting your journey. If you are, for example, again, let me take the example of CA. See, a CA student documenting his journey of articleship or journey of articleship in auditing. You can have it like this. And thirdly, building skills. If you're building your skills in any particular area like SAP, Tally, etc., then you can share this, and you can even share your experience relating to the skill in which you are learning. But in my opinion, you can combine all these and create a perfect headline. Fourth one is future directional. If you are a founder in a company, then you can write like building. For example, AatralOne, building AatralOne. You can give a headline like that. Next thing is your about section. So about section is very, very important, because people are going to judge you, people are going to know who you are within 2 minutes of reading your about section. So it is your narrative zone. How you have to have your about section is, firstly, you should have a hook. Your hook should be something very very creative, very very shocking, or very very curiosity generating, after reading which people should definitely click that read more. So have a perfect hook. Next one is have a story. For example, in the past, you might have had some past, or you might have worked in so and so company in the past. You can write about the past experience. Then from the past, connect with the present. That's one of the beautiful things which I've seen in a lot of founders LinkedIn profile. They'll be first giving an hook. They'll tell their past, and they'll connect it with the present, and then they'll tell what they are building, what they are standing for in the future, and they'll be sharing their values. And then in the end, they'll be sharing, follow me or DM me or connect with me. It is based on your how you are trying to build. Whether you want to be a creator, if you want to be a creator, you can tell follow. If you want if you're building something, and if you want people to inquire something about you, like for example, if you're providing the service of graphic designing, and you want people to inquire about some about the project in DM, then you can tell, if you're passionate about the about getting hiring a graphic designer, DM me, or let's connect. Connecting is for the people who want to have professional networks. So a good about section will be having what drives you, that is your mission, and what you're exploring, whether you're exploring connections, whether you're exploring followers, and what are your core skills and interests, and your openness to connect with other people. So this is just an example of a good, simple and good about section. So I'm fascinated by how business ideas move from classroom concepts to the real world. So this is going to be your hook, by reading which people will be clicking on the read more. I'm currently a commerce student exploring finance, communication, and business strategy through project, internship, and daily learning. This is exploring your current profile along with a bunch of activities which you're doing currently. On LinkedIn, I share lessons, observations, and practical ideas for students who want to grow with clarity. So here you are expressing your value, your intention to build your brand on LinkedIn. And next thing is openness to learning, collaboration, and meaningful conversations. So here, if you want to have the projects or freelance opportunity, then you can write a CTA accordingly. And main thing here is you have to sound human and not corporate. Don't use too much ChatGPT. Try to write at least some part of your about section by your own, because people are going to judge you by your about section. Next thing is featured section. I don't know if all of you know about it. So there is a section called featured on LinkedIn. So if you are going to create, I have created almost 350 to 400 plus posts on LinkedIn. So few of my best posts might have gone down, right? Nobody is going to scroll down and check or the impactful post. So what I can do is I can click on that post, click the three dots, and put it in a starred or the featured post. Put it as the featured post. If I'm going to feature a particular post, then that will be appearing on the top of my profile. And based on my featured post, people can judge me, like people can form opinions about me. So this featured post is very important. So you can have few of the best performing content in the featured section. Or if you are a founder who is building a company, then you can post your pitch deck in as the featured section. You can post around 15 to 20, I guess you can post up to 20 posts as the featured post. Then you can make the best opportunity of this featured section. Or you can put your portfolios, or if you are having a very big certification, you can even post it on your featured section. So next thing is before versus after. This is before, people will be just having student at XYZ university. After improvising or polishing their LinkedIn, people might have economic student exploring market research and business writing. So this was just in comparison. Next thing is how to position yourself as a creator on LinkedIn. Firstly, what do you want to talk about? You have to be clear about what are the things that you want to talk about. Next thing is you have to know who you are going to talk about. If you are going to talk about finance, or if you want to talk about taxation, then you have to know who are your perfect audience. Then only you can create the content tailored for them. So next thing is, why should they listen? You have to make people listen to what you're creating, because ultimately if you're just going to post and disappear, it is not going to create value. Positioning is effective only when people are going to listen to what you're posting. So this is again one of the bonus. These are the 4 types of content which students can use. So firstly, they can share their learnings. So if you have attended any workshop, or if you have went for any internship programs, you might have learned an actual practical experience that, rather than reading just in theory, right? You can post about it. Next thing is story post. If you have any story, like in the past you might have had some past, and this was your turning point, and now you are like this, then you can share a story about it as well. Or you can document a particular thing. For example, if you're going to gym every day, what people will do is, I have lost 10 kg in the past 10 months, like that people will post a post. But don't do that. You can share your journey of every day, how much you're losing. And most of the people don't even show the negative side. If they have unfortunately gained 4 kgs after doing gym, even after doing gym, then they may not show that. You can share that also. You can document your complete journey, and you can share your opinions as well. If you're having any strong opinion about a particular thing, do share that. Don't keep it with yourself. So what content types actually look like? Like if you're sharing a learning post, 3 things my internship taught me about professionalism. You can have the content around this. And story, I almost didn't apply for this internship, that was a mistake. So whatever content you're creating, you have to create curiosity among audience, then only they'll be engaged with you. Students should stop saying they have no experience. So if you're going to say you have no experience, nobody will be hiring you, right? You should have at least some kind of extracurricular activities. So you can share your opinion like that. And next one is week 3 of learning Excel. Here is what I have improved. This is what I said. Instead of just posting an Excel course certificate, you can share your journey of what you have learned in that Excel course. And what are the types of content that are available on LinkedIn? So first one is text-based post or text with image-based post. This is actually the fastest moving form of content on LinkedIn. This is best if you want to build your content on everyday basis, because every day you cannot shoot your reel and post on LinkedIn. So what you can do is, you can, if you want to be daily available on LinkedIn, daily create a brand on LinkedIn, then text-based posts are very, very ideal for you. And it is useful for those kind of content, like especially for the story form and opinion form of content. This text-based post is very, very ideal. And you don't need any designing skill, editing skill, or anything for this text-based post. Next one is carousel. So carousel-based posts are, in my opinion, kind of time-taking. If you're going to create a carousel-based post, you should at least be taking 1 or 2 days to complete the carousels. You can use AI to create carousels, but that won't be as much effective as if you're going to create it on your own. So if you're going to create a carousel content, I'll suggest you to be active 2 to 3 days in a week, because every day you cannot post carousel posts. And if you in the initial stage are posting carousels every day and later you are going to disappear, again the consistency will be lacking. So you can create carousel posts, but you should be good in designing. And if you have the opinion of posting in a bit lower interval, then you can use carousel. Next one is video based post. So it is equivalent to reels, but it should have your personal brand. Like it should be professional and tailored for the purpose of LinkedIn. And it is useful only if you're very confident about speaking, if you're not camera cautious, etc. Because if you're going to create a video based post and you're not at all confident, then the ultimate purpose of building a brand is itself losing. So if you're a beginner, I'll suggest you for a text based post. So next one is hook. Your hook is the defining statement for your complete post. If your hook is weak, then nobody is going to read your complete post. So have a proper hook. For example, if you have learned about productivity. Instead of saying this is what I have learned about productivity, what you can say is I wasted 5 hours in learning how to save 5 hours. So this is very triggering, right? So you can do like this. Or today I want to share some thoughts about my internship, or I'm happy to share that I have completed my internship at ABC company. Instead of this, what you can do is my internship taught me something college could never. This is kind of triggering. So you have to create tension, you have to imply a secret, or you have to promise some specific value which people will be getting by seeing your post, by seeing your hook itself. You have to make that possible for the people. And this is again one of the bonus 10 hooks students can actually use. You can probably take a screenshot of it. So the first thing is I used to think confidence means speaking more. I was wrong. So these are few types of hooks which you can use in your content as a student. 3 months ago, I had no idea about how to talk, but today I'm very confident. So it should be something which should be value adding, which should be triggering, which should create curiosity or tension. And you can even have a controversial hook. And then what I feel is if you have a misleading hook and meaningful reveal, that's a perfect strategy for LinkedIn. Next thing is have a story framework. If you're going to write a text based post, I'll always suggest you to have a story based framework. Firstly, you should have a hook. As I already told, you should have a hook, and then you should state a problem, and then you should connect the problem with that experience, and then you have to share some insight and close with a lesson. So let me give an example. So for example, if you're going for internship, or if you're applying for articleship in CA, so let me take that example and tell how to prepare a post. I thought getting an articleship would be easy if I just cleared my CA inter exams, but I was wrong because I struggled a lot to get an articleship opportunity even at a mid-sized firm because the competition was heavy. But still, I tried applying to a lot of firms, applying for attending a lot of interviews, and I learned that trying is one of the best thing which people can have. Like one of the best thing people can do is keep trying, because if you don't try, the answer is always no. You have to ask for something if you want it. So like that, you can close. It was just a raw example. So again, let me give an example from here, from the slide. I thought being a good student meant I'd automatically get in good internship. This is your hook. And the problem is, but college rewards clarity while work rewards initiative. uh, you might be a good student in college, but if you're not going to work, if you're not going to be a team leader or a team player, you cannot be getting an internship. Next thing, you can share your experience, what you have learned in the first week of internship, and then your insight. I realized professional readiness is not just about knowledge, it's about behavior. So it is just in one line summary of your experience. Insight is just in one line summary of your experience, and in the conclusion you can say that ask better question, communicate early, take ownership. It is the lesson which you have learned throughout the process. So this is one of the good template for creating a story based post. And again, this is a bonus for you guys. You can take a screenshot of it. 15 plus content ideas which you can create as a student, like behind the scenes of hosting an event, or the mistakes that you made during a group presentation. You might think these topics might be lame, like you have done a small group presentation in your in your class or in your college, and you're just posting about it. But no, even if you're posting a small win, that's okay, because people will definitely appreciate it. Next thing is LinkedIn algorithm, because a lot of people tend to fail here. Firstly, you will be posting content on LinkedIn, and what the LinkedIn system will do is it will analyze whether this post is AI generated or written by human. This is the first filter that the LinkedIn algorithm does. Then the second one is whether it is a spam or a reliable information. Then one will it will be pushing your content to the people. And if you are going to create content for the first time now, it will only be sharing your post to your connections. If you're having 50 connections, then only those 50 people will be initially getting your post, and only if they engage properly, at least only if the 10% of the population of your connection are engaging with your post, it will be, the LinkedIn algorithm will treat it as a reliable profile, and then only LinkedIn will start exporting your post to the general public. So this is where a lot of people fail, because whenever they are posting 4 to 5 content initially, they'll be hardly getting 5, 10, or even 2 likes, and the impressions will be around 100, 200, that's all. So this is the phase where people tend to quit LinkedIn because they can't see the growth immediately. But this is how the algorithm actually works. Only when you keep posting, only when the people actually engage with you, it will expand it. It will the content will be expanded and exported to your non-followers. So, in order to be authentic on LinkedIn, these are few things which you have to follow. First thing is your content should be relevant. You should not be posting irrelevant content. If you are a creator who is creating content around finance, you should not be creating content immediately around the coding or computer science, etc. So, next one is quality. You should maintain quality of content rather than just dumping content. I have seen a lot of people who are just posting for the sake of it. Like they'll be posting content all 7 days, but they'll be repeating the same content again and again. That's not going to work. Focus on quality rather than quantity. Next thing is conversation depth. You have to reply to the comments of the people. This is one of the mistakes which I made in my initial phase, because I'll just react, I'll give an heart, or I'll just like the comment of the people who are commenting under my post, and I won't be replying because I will not be getting the time in those times. So I'll not be engaging with the people. So that was one of the mistakes which I did. But only when you reply to the people who are spending their time to add value to your post, then only the conversation builds, and that's the real purpose of LinkedIn. And engagement pattern, there are actually a time when the LinkedIn actually works. So the time what I found from my experimentation is morning 9:30 to 11. These times, when you're posting content on these times, the algorithm is working really well. And in the evening, post 6:30 and before 10. If you're going to post between these times, then the content performance is comparatively higher than the rest of the time. And if you're going to post content on Sundays, they are really working well. A lot of people might have a misconception that people won't be scrolling content on weekends, but that is actually a misconception, because people are, the engagement which I get on a Sunday is comparatively higher than the engagement which I get on normal days. So, and always try to add some value in your post instead of just dumping. So what you have to do 60 to 90 minutes after posting? Firstly, you have to be available. You should not be clicking the post button and then ghost others. No. Firstly, you have to be available. Nextly, if people are going to comment on your post, you have to reply. Like whenever you're replying immediately, people, if I'm seeing a post which is just posted 10 minutes ago, and the creator has already started replying to the comments of the people, then people, as a consumer, I'll be encouraged to do a comment with a surety that I'll definitely getting some reward from this creator. So you have to reply to the comments in the initial stage, and you have to focus on people. Don't just focus on the analytics. If you're posting a very wrong content, like for example, you're posting something that is trending just because everyone is posting and you got good impressions, then don't repeat the same pattern, because in the long run, your content speaks rather than your analytics. And keep the conversations alive. In the end of the post, you can have a CTA, or you can ask for people's opinion, or in the comment you can ask the question related to the post, related to the post, about their opinion, or what did they feel, or what how the similar experience happened to them in the past. Then if you only keep the conversations alive, then only people will be encouraged to reply to the comments. So you have to post a comment immediately after posting the post itself. next one is every day you can follow this pattern. 10 to 15 minutes. LinkedIn is kind of selfish platform where people will be engaging with your post only when you engage with others. Only when you are supporting others, you can expect others support on LinkedIn. So what you have to do is you have to keep engaging with others posts. Even if you're not having time to comment on everybody's post, at least try to like their content. And you have to at least add 10 to 15 meaningful comments on your connections who are supporting you. Then only in return you will be getting support. So next thing is send personalized connection request. A lot of people will be just dumping the connection request. They'll be just for the sake of building a brand, they'll be sending connection request to thousands of people. But don't do that. Do a personalized connection request, because probability of any creator accepting someone's personal a probability of a creator to accept someone's connection request is higher when you're sending a personalized connection request. You can in the free plan you can send up to 3 personalized connection, and in the paid plan I think you are able to send at least 10 personalized requests. So if you're aiming for a founder or CEO of a company, then try to send a personalized request so that your probability of getting accepted is very high. And next thing is everyday brainstorm at least for 10 minutes to think about your content ideas, or reply to the comments which you've got, or draft new ideas for the next week, like that. So how can you grow your content on a weekly basis? Firstly, what I will suggest is plan your week well in advance. If today is Sunday and you're going to post 3 content for the next week, then you have to plan at least the hook today. Then only you'll be able to build the content. So if you're planning for 3 posts, then at least try to post two content, and then add 20 to 30 relevant connections. You can send 2 to 3 personalized invites. Remaining 27, you can just send a normal invite, but make sure that you're not sending a lot of connection requests, because at one point when I was initially building my profile on LinkedIn, I sent around 155 connection requests, and immediately 2 minutes after I sent the connection request, my account got restricted and I was unable to access LinkedIn for the next 1 week. So it was one of the biggest mistake. If you're going to send a lot of connection requests, then your account get restricted. Sometimes you might get it back. I got it back after 1 week, but a lot of people in my network have lost their post itself, like have lost their profile itself. So do not send a lot of connection requests. Restrict it to 20 to 30, and then review your best performing teams. Like LinkedIn has a perfect analytic code. When you will be creating your and I forgot to mention one more thing. If you're aspiring to become a creator on LinkedIn, then turn on the creator mode, because it is one of the best tool that LinkedIn has provided. When you are turning on the creator mode, it will be giving you perfect analytics for the past 7 days, for the past 28 days, then for the past 90 days, and for the past 365 days. And in that itself, LinkedIn is giving which content is performing well, which content is not performing well. So you'll get a fair idea through the algorithm itself. You don't need to analyze it. Algorithm is itself telling you which post is performing well, which post is not performing well. So when you review it continuously, you'll get a fair idea about how to approach for the next week. And you can start to real conversations instead of just saying hi, thanks for connecting, it's great connecting with you. You can have some real conversation with people with whom you really want to network with, and improve at least one section of the profile, be it your profile picture, about section, headline, or anything. Try to continuously improve. Don't have a stagnant profile. Next thing is, if you are going to start your LinkedIn profile from today, from scratch, these are few things which I would like to explain you. Firstly, you have to clean up your profile. You have to complete that 6 steps which I told: the profile picture, headline, banner, etc. And then you have to clean up your profile. Next thing is you have to start sending connection requests, and 1 week before creating a brand on LinkedIn, you have to start commenting on others' posts. You have to add value on people's posts. Then they'll register you in their mind, and when you are going to create your content journey, they'll definitely support you. Next thing is two to three posts per week. So do not start an all day week post, because you might start with the initial enthusiasm, but in the later stage you will be finding it very difficult to post on every single day. So start off with 2 to 3 posts per week, and then optimize your network, review your chats, reply to the DMs, accept the connection request which you are getting, and then you'll start knowing how to build your profile once you follow these steps. So till now, you might have been a consumer who is scrolling endlessly, comparing with others, saves the post but do not act, and you might have stayed invisible. But now, when you're going to become a creator, these are the few things which you must be following. Firstly, you have to document your journey. Secondly, you have to contribute value to others. Then only people will be engaging in your post. Next thing is reflect on the inputs. If someone is doing a criticism comment on your post, do not delete it. Try to understand why they are telling that and try to improve, because that is the real feedback which you're getting from your consumer. And notice the pattern, which posts are working, which timings are working, because whatever I said was these times work for me, but it is not necessary that this time should be working for you as well. Your network can be an early bird, a morning bird, so they might your engagement time will be in the early mornings. But in my opinion, for my network, people uh, uh, sorry people in my network are engaging more when I post content on late evenings. So you have to notice the pattern and you have to keep improving. So next thing is building your voice. So if you are starting off with a founder voice, or if you're going to start off with a student voice, then try to sustain it as long as possible, because people are going to connect with you through that voice. Then observe better, observe the patterns. If you are going to create content around finance, try to observe other people about what they are lacking, what is the gap that is existing in the industry, so that you can try to bridge that gap. If everyone is talking about in a very technical term, then the gap is explaining finance in a very easy manner. Okay, so next one is explain simply. You have to explain don't overburden your post with too much jargons, because not everyone will be expert in a particular topic. So try to keep your explanations as simple as possible and share honestly. You have to share your opinions and not just the opinion of other people. I have also seen this pattern on LinkedIn. If a post is getting a lot of attention, what people will do is they'll copy, paste, and post the same content. But you don't know how much credibility you are losing just by doing a copy paste of post. So do not copy paste the post. And next thing is repeat the theme consistently. So if you are having 4 teams, the first one is finance creator. Second one is if you are going to create content on personal branding. And next one is personal growth. And fourth one is documenting journey as a CA student. Then you have to repeat the 4 teams. Don't get deviated. For example, if you're having a voice of a feminist in your initial stages of post, then do not support patriarchy in the later stages. So you should have a consistency in your voice and your themes, and do not over polish it with the help of AI, ChatGPT, or do not try and aim for a perfect grammar, because people are going to relate with whatever you're saying and not how polished the content is. Next thing is, a lot of people will be having a doubt whether you can earn through LinkedIn post. You cannot directly earn through post, but there are few ways in which you can earn through LinkedIn. And this is again one of the bonus which I want to give you guys. Firstly, you have to be visible. You have to post content to be visible. Secondly, only when you post content and the content is actually good, you will be building a credibility for your name. And next thing is you will get inbound opportunities only when your credibility is built. And lastly, only this income earning part comes. A lot of people immediately after posting a content or starting their LinkedIn journey will expect to earn. But in the initial stage, you cannot earn through LinkedIn. First, you have to be visible. Then you have to build your credibility. Then you have to have inbound opportunities, and only through inbound opportunities most of the income sources happen on LinkedIn. So these are few paths through which students can monetize through LinkedIn. First one is internships. So there are a lot of job vacancies available on LinkedIn. So a lot of people have a misconception that LinkedIn is only for job. So LinkedIn, one of the part of LinkedIn is job. So job will be the last section that will be available in the LinkedIn app if you open. So in the job section, you can search for the jobs in which, like, if you are, there are a lot of filters available in which field you want the job. You can even set in alerts for job. You can even enable the job alerts if you want job opportunities. So you can have the internship opportunities firstly through LinkedIn. So secondly, you can also do freelancing. So I'm doing a ghostwriting service. Like if you're good at fashion design, or if you're good at any other thing apart from your core niche, then you can also provide that service in the form of freelance. If you are good at promoting content, then you can become a marketing manager freelance by sitting at your home to a company which is also in foreign. So that is the power of freelancing. Then next thing is consulting service. If you're good at building resume, then you can build a consulting or resume review service for a lot of people. Finally comes the brand collaboration. Brand collaboration usually happens only at a very later stage. Only if you're having minimum of 15,000 followers, brands will approach you for the collaboration. So in the initial stage, if you're building your brand, then you can focus on these three opportunities. And brand collaboration happen only inbound. So only when you're showcasing yourself, brands will be approaching you. So do not focus on brand collaboration in the initial stage. Focus on these three monetization techniques. And realistic timeline will be within 30 days people will start you will be starting to get visible to the people. So but the recognition starts only after 3 months. 2 to 3 months it will take for people to recognize you. So if you're creating content, if you're posting content regularly for the next 3 months, and you're going for any event or you're going outside, people will start recognizing you. You are that person who are creating content, right? Like that, people will recognize you, but it will take at least 2 to 3 months. Next thing is inbound opportunities. Inbound opportunities for a lot of people will take minimum 6 months. It took me 1 year to get the inbound opportunity in the form of brand collaboration. So lastly is the strong monetization. So all these things which I told, freelancing, consulting, internships, it will take internships depends on you, like how you approach people, how you apply for jobs on LinkedIn, but it will generally take 6 to 12 months. So common mistakes which people commit on LinkedIn is copying others blindly. They'll post content whatever others are posting. So this is one of the biggest mistakes. And next one is inconsistency. In the initial days, they'll be posting content every day, then they'll disappear. Then after 6 months, they'll come. But if they come after 6 months, their post will again be dead. Their profile will become dead because most of the people might have forgot them. Next one is they might not know how to position themselves, or they might wait for the perfect moment. Like they will post only a perfect post, but it's okay to share the messy in betweens as well, in my opinion. Like you can share even a rough post because people appreciate the value which you're adding rather than the perfection which you're showing. Next thing is don't sound robotic. It is not a company where you're organizing a corporate meeting. No. So you are just going to share your thoughts. So even if it's raw, that's fine. Don't over polish itself, and posting without engaging. I feel this is one of the biggest mistake because even I made this mistake in the initial days. I won't be engaging with others. I'll just keep posting my own content. But the traction rate which I received by posting only my content is was very low. So you have to support others in order to get the support on LinkedIn, because as I already told, LinkedIn is kind of selfish platform. So LinkedIn is not about positioning. Sorry, LinkedIn is not about posting. It's about positioning. You have to position yourself as someone who is having a lot of capabilities, who is unique. So again, there is a bonus for you guys. These are 10 student focused post ideas. What public speaking taught you, or what a failed project taught you. Like for example, you might have made up a group presentation, but your team failed, or nobody in your team was capable of presenting fluently. However, the other teams are perfectly good. What you've learned from that, you can even share that. And these are few viral hook template. I used to think LinkedIn is just for jobs. I was wrong. Like you can fill this dashes. Nobody tells students this about. Then you can share some surprising thoughts. Or the biggest misconception about CA students is they are boring. So like this, you can have this as a template, because these are a few of the templates which are used, and the performance of those kinds of posts was really good. So LinkedIn is not where you prove you made it, because people just think that it is an achievement diary where you will just boast about your achievement. It is a platform which shows you the person who you are becoming. You can share your journey instead of just sharing the results. So yeah, that's it about the workshop, guys.